Hello, fellow Suzerains. Like many of you, I found myself very frustrated trying to actually beat the game. Some people I've seen have even asked if the game is actually beatable because of how hard it is. So after several hours of gameplay, I've managed to have two victories as of now. For me, a victory is getting reelected through any means possible. And I searched for videos before once I had ran out of ideas and felt that no matter what decisions I took, I just couldn't win, and actually didn't find any good or relevant videos. Some of them uh, had like other versions of the game installed. Maybe there were some updates recently. The UI is different now from the videos I consulted back then, and also the options and the decisions didn't seem to be relevant to the game I was playing at the moment. They seemed outdated. So, uh, because the game has many small, seemingly meaningless decisions that do in fact impact the end game result, I decided to do a hands-on full playthrough where you can see each and every decision I make, so you can be sure that what I'm doing works and maybe apply it yourself if you're tired of trying time and again and not getting the victory you want. So I'll teach you one of the victory victories I've had. It's my favorite one till now. Uh, so you'll be able to do several things, several decisions that may might seem like they won't work. You might go against your ministers and such, but at the end, you'll have a nice playthrough with interesting things happening, and you'll win the game. Uh, so I'm doing this live, no pauses, no interruptions, so you can see and be sure that I'm not doing anything in close curtains. So even this very first decision makes an impact. So basically, depending on which one you pick, is with how much personal money you start with. So since it's a hard game for most of us, I think we should take every opportunity to be as well off as possible. So your best pick would be a wealthy family in the city of Lechaven. This will give you three personal wealth. I haven't seen if any of these decisions make an impact. Uh, since I was born in Lechaven, it only makes sense to study in Lechaven. Also, economics seems like something some rich person would study, so that's the one I pick. Uh, right here, I haven't even seen myself if it matters. I just agree in principle. I I usually pick the ones where you are like more rebellious because I like on the on a further interaction with your son Frank to be able to tell him that like you were brave and held your ground and fought against the military. So I'm not sure if any of these make any difference. I usually pick the student council for no particular reason, and these ones I'm pretty sure don't matter either. So you can just pick whichever you want. Uh, so here, I think your best bet would be to stay away from any political organization. This will this will stop you from being too aligned with any of the two like most radical stances in the game. So I'd rather not pick any of them. Uh, so here I always pick voting for the Sortland party, and I always escort them back. I don't know if it has any impact because I've never explored doing it otherwise. And right here, it doesn't really matter. And about this point, you'll start picking other choices that matter. So I've always tried to pick like the most diplomatic choices, like this is what like sacrificing family time to improve your position in the party is what people in power would like for you to do, and it seems to impact in minor ways amongst Cornel Sol and Alfonso. So uh, it doesn't matter too much, but it might impact a little bit. So the really important thing is when you're start handling Alfonso is to support them. Uh, it seems that if you do support them, you get the chance to have a better deal with Gaso. So I do recommend that you are as political as you can. So this one here matters. Try to be political about it. Just talk to him. And now for this one, we are gonna be like ultra democratic, very right wing. So enact democratic reforms, and the podcast ended. So I will skip through the choices. Rather, I will skip through the dialogues that don't have any choices, or the ones wherein picking the first automatic option is what we would desire for our playthrough. So here you want a market economy. We will align west. If you pick, like, you can always align any way you want, regardless of what you choose in this window. But it seems that if you do what you promise at the beginning of your term, your popular opinion will be better. Okay, so we are aligning west, so the west are the capitalists. We will retain relaxed immigration, and we will focus on defense, which is the military. And this style here doesn't matter at all, so we will just skip through. There is a slight chance that it does matter, but picking the first automatic option is what we actually need. So it's at the end, it's the same. I won't be looking at the news. I won't be looking at reports. I don't really need to look at them. So briefing on the current political situation. I believe these don't matter. They just talk about winning and about the Marcel Coronti, the guy that owns the newspaper and such. And in my original playthrough, the one I won, I decided to go on and accept Marcel's deal, but I suspect that I would be better off if I don't. So this time around, I won't accept Marcel's deal. Up until now, they're just talking about the reforms that will be taking place. I don't know if there's a way of not enacting reforms without declaring a national emergency. But it seems to me that there isn't. So we will just have to go on and do them regardless. So the economic situation, it doesn't matter that much. I'll just tell you that everything sucks and that they'll be doing stuff to try and make it better. So for just as a heads up, for this game, we will be funding the railway, and we will be doing so. So this is the media strategy. So as I stated before, in my real game, I did side with Marcel, and we cut a deal where he would support me on his newspaper, and it didn't seem to help me. So I'll decline this time. See how it works out for us. So that's it. And next, this isn't a good idea. It has no positive effect if we sign it. If we veto it, it just stays the same. So let's veto. So here you got the opportunity to invest in the mega infrastructure. For this game, we will do it. And then you'll get to decide if you will build the highway or the train track. So we will build the train track. Just like click along. So I've settled on a decision, and we will do the high-speed rail. And that's it. So I don't invest because we'll use our money to bribe people to make our reforms pass. And this makes no difference. Just click through till it ends. It's when Cercas gets killed. I've never seen it be relevant in any way. So if you are new to this game, I strongly recommend for you not to watch this video and to rather go and play the game yourself. It has a very interesting story. A lot of stuff happens that was unexpected for me. So here they just talk about the killing and who was behind it. Nothing really important. So in the next few turns, we will be seeing like this right here. Doesn't matter at all. You can just skip through it. It gets you like in perspective what your relationship with your family is. It makes like no difference what you pick. And right here, it doesn't make much of a difference either. They just tell you about like the different radicals in your country, and the problem that the looming threat of Rumburg. Like it really doesn't matter. And right here is your people at the military, they tell you about the Rumburg threat, and like it really doesn't matter what you pick, just go through it. And back at Wholesale, you'll have a meeting with Tusk right now. I don't like getting messed up in whatever the oligarchs are doing. So he will ask you to grant the contract for building the train track with underhaul, and I don't believe that's the best option. So I will just say no. So that's it. So react to the unrest. I always pick this one. Seems to work all the time. After picking this one, you'll get like peaceful protest and eventually get protests quelled nationwide. And the economic relief plan, I gave out like stimulus checks for the people. So basically, this game is about balancing the decisions you make in favor of the people, like welfare, and the decisions you make in favor of the economy, which is in favor of the people who own companies and industry. So here they're trying to give you the information related to the 3 different companies that are available to complete the infrastructure work you are setting yourself to do. And so I always sell for Taurus Holding because they won't cost you any more budget. You will get a strike, but once the strike starts, you can pass a bill where you expand on workers' rights, which costs 2 budget. So the Underhaul company and the Sorge State company, they both charge 2 budget to complete the job. So with Taurus, you don't charge the budget, and they just like make you pass a bill that would cost the same as if you would decide for either the Sorge State or the Underhaul companies. But now you have a bill that makes your public opinion better because it helps welfare. So maybe I'm not explaining it too well, but as things happen, you'll get to see what I mean. So I do attend the funeral like always. And the important thing here is to look out for this one decision right here. So you should let them in, right? That's it. After picking that one, it doesn't matter what you pick. Just fly through it, no problem. So now we're here at La Chaven. This is a very long dialogue, and the problem is that I believe that during this dialogue, Rumburg decides to close off the embassy. So you do have to look out for that one line where you get to decide how to react, because it might affect your outcome. So in this game, we're trying to go to war with Rumburg. So we'll take every chance to be enemies with Rumburg. So what is the situation with Rumburg? Like, most of this doesn't matter. It's very interesting when you're playing the game for the first time, because it gives you context. So I do recommend reading this with care, paying attention. So several of these don't actually matter, but I just like kind of roleplay a little and pick the ones I want. So here's where the Rumburg thing starts. They don't matter up until one line. Like, this doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, like, at all. And then this is the one decision that matters. You could just like skip through everything and just be sure that you stop for this one. So in this game through, we want to make enemies with Rumburg. So we will retaliate by closing the sword like consulate Indo. And that's it. And that's it. That's it. Like, the rest you can skip, no problem. Skip, 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 skip. All the way, all the way. So for this game, here they're talking about allying with Wehlen or Agnolia. And it seems that most people ally with one or the other. For this game through, we will ally with both. We'll ally with both, and we will we will also ally with Lespia. So right now they're talking about the reforms. They tell you what the reformists want, like absolutely want, and it doesn't matter. Like, there's ways to push any reform you want. So right now, the Tourism and Cultural Preservation Act, arguably, you might veto this and have other strategies, but signing it worked for me. So we'll build the airport at Benfi, and signing that makes it makes it work better, like have better returns. So now also Hawker and Garashi come home and try to convince you to start a national emergency. So with this line is your first moment to be able to get out of the meeting. So once this line appears, be sure to pick option 3. So you end the meeting, because it, like, we're not trying to enact a state of emergency. So that's it. And so right now we will soon have to veto one particular bill. Let's see. No, so this barbecue with Frank makes no difference. Absolutely no difference. Just skip through it. Frank wants to know what happened to you when you were young, and that's when you get to tell him what you did, if you want. You can also give him a beer if you want, which is kind of cool, but it doesn't matter. So, okay, this is one of the cornerstones of your game through, of your playthrough. If you don't pay attention here, it will get botched. So most of this is meaningless until you get the option to give Sergey money. You gotta be very careful, because if you do this, you won't be able to bribe all the people you want to bribe. So this is the one. You might not need the whole of the money, but I'd rather have it all, so I can bribe like a heavy bribe for the assembly and the bribe for Garachi. So I want my 3 wealth. Okay, so sorry for everyone. After that, it doesn't matter, not one bit. Next dialogue doesn't matter either, at all. I don't even know what they're saying. It doesn't matter. It's something about being able to make Norvel better, but also making the economy better. It's hard and impossible and whatever. So it doesn't matter. Like, it's not relevant. Just skip through it all. Press enter as fast as you can. So now it does get a little bit tricky. You will first talk with Gus Manger, then you'll talk a while with Edward Alfonso, and during your talk with Edward, you will have to pick how much money you put into Gasum. So in this playthrough, we will invest heavily in Gasum. We will invest the 2 budget and repeal the EPA. Why? Because in order to also, when starting this line of dialogue, you need to make sure you pick the choices that benefit the people. It will make the next thing easier. So for example here, and he agrees, and then right here, this is the one you want, 2 budget. So they'll be impressed, and then you will tell them that you need to give back to the people, like here. And yeah, this is the one, and that's it. So the rest doesn't matter. Then you will get to pick whether you want to leave in the helicopter or through car. So we will go through car. Then we have to play it out. It doesn't matter. First choice. Like, what matters is that you made Edward compromise and invest in Norvel. That's it. That's it. You're done. Back to... So don't ban. That's your safest bet. If you're trying to make like a nationalist or a socialist run, it is relevant, but not for this one. So I'm not sure about this, but I did pick it like last time, and things worked out. So I am fair. It's positive. And or constitution. So limit vetoes, yes. Yeah, anybody can impeach the president. The assembly nominates the ministers. Threshold, I believe that they don't want it to change. Doesn't really matter, honestly. Like, whatever. And do not change. It's not ideal to want and remove decrees, because you'll get to make some decrees at the end that are meaningful. So introduce a limit of 2 terms. We don't want to bring down the old guard for this game, for this playthrough, so we won't change. And we won't change this because people get very jumpy around Seoul. So okay. This one's important. One of the most important decisions for this playthrough. There's a lot of things we don't care about, but there is this line where you get to pick what to do with the EPA. That you need to pay attention to. Like, it doesn't really matter what you pick. And it seems that sometimes, like, picking the last option is like the fastest way to end the dialogue. Like, that was the last option. So, and like, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter one bit. Like, you can pick whatever, and then here. So we will remove it. We need to remove it for this game. Like, there's no other way for it to work. We need to remove it right now. So EPA removed. And that's it. And right here. This, just skip. I'm not getting entangled with the oligarchs. So just skip and you will be safe. Walter Tusk tries to bribe you because he wants to give big companies a tax cut, but I won't do that. For this game, we won't give anybody a tax cut. We will let things stay as they are. So here, it doesn't matter. As a rule of thumb, I recommend whatever you promised at the beginning should be done. I would recommend against decreasing any of this. It doesn't seem like a good idea, like you may. And if you don't want to increase any of this, it's also good. It mostly gives you a little bit of flavor. But if you're trying to go to war with Rumburg, you definitely need to increase the military budget. And that's it. Like everybody will tell you it's okay. Like no biggie. Military's happy. We have a consistent economy. Increased funding, whatever. Now, chapter 2. And work is right. So it's very important to veto this. Why? Because when you pick a Taurus for the railway, and if you pass this workers' rights, the Taurus workers will strike, and there won't be anything you can do about it. Like nothing. You'll have to give Taurus like 2 more budget. So if you do this, if you sign this one, you'll get 1 budget less, and in order to make the train track to be out on time, you'll spend 2 budget more for Taurus to work to pay for all the workers. So you'll be 3 budget down, right? If you don't pass this one, you'll just have to pay 2 budget for Taurus to actually pass this one, and the strikers would quit striking. So you gotta veto this, and right away you'll get the strikers. So this law enforcement thing doesn't matter. They will talk about whatever, like they're just saying that they won't be able to do anything because you didn't give them any more money, and that's it. That's all I have to say. No problem. So evening walk with Monica. Like most of what happens here doesn't matter at all. But then she starts talking about Janice. Yeah, Janice. And a little bit after talking with Janice, she will ask you to give a speech, which I recommend not to. So out of the question, like she will ask again, you have to say no, because I'll make the conservatives angry, and it'll just make it harder to it'll make it harder for your reforms to pass. So I recommend not to, and like regardless of not letting her do the speech during the Benfi festival, you'll be given the chance to support her, and that seems to be like very well seen for the public. So this decision, I'm not like entirely sure of whether it makes a difference or not where you invest or if you don't invest. What I can tell you is if you invest in Verja, you'll have a wheat surplus. If you invest in Lauren, you'll have a coal surplus. And if you invest in Acland, you'll have a fish surplus. So out of the 3, like Lauren seems to be the best thing. I don't know. And if you don't invest, you'll get a tungsten surplus, which also sounds like cool. It sounds better than any of the options, but I have the impression that if you do invest, it helps the economy. I'm not sure, but well, I invested last time, so I invested this time, and I will expect the same results. So here with the taxes, and I decided not to change taxes, and because well, we're running out of money. So in other playthroughs, I've cut taxes for both small and large corporations. for this playthrough, I will leave everything as is because it worked. So maintain. And now the thing with Daudus. So they will tell you that, like, Ghost Manager will tell you that it's not a good idea. Like, what would people think if we just let strikers like make you change your decisions? And Simon Hole will agree that it's the best option to pass the workers' right bill, so we do. And whilst doing that, we save money from not picking Underhall or the SSC, and at the end we were able to pass a workers' right bill, which will make your standing with the people better. So it's the most economical way to do things. And like, nah, don't donate, don't spend your money on his foundation. And then this doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, just click through, click through, click through, click through, click through. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. At all. Like, it doesn't matter at all whatsoever. And then here you will, like, you get to pick whether or not to make an education reform. I recommend you let her do it. It won't work because we didn't invest in education, so it doesn't matter. So just reform the education system so you have better standing with Kiara, but it doesn't matter. So we want to privatize because it will give you like 1. That's it. It gave you 1. And right here, for my playthrough, I spent 2 budget and it worked. So I will do that. Spend 2 budget. And here, so right here, this dialogue does matter. I'm not sure if everything I pick is actually the best choice, but it worked. So she says she's okay with everything, and she just doesn't want to have you privatize anything else, right? But it doesn't matter. We'll privatize everything regardless. So we will be able to privatize everything because we will lobby the assembly. So I don't know about this option. Like, I've tried it like 3 or 4 times and I just don't know how to play chess, so I lose every time. So for me, it's a waste of time. I don't know if it impacts in any way through the game, but so here, like, he won't like that you didn't change the way presidents can decree anything at any time. So you'll have to compromise. And I recommend to just give him your VP once you get rid of Peter Vectrin, because we need the money to bribe people, and we still want to be able to pass decrees. It'll just make the game better. You have more options at the end of the game. So we'll just promise him that we'll make him BP and actually make him BP. I don't know if anything happens if you decide to betray him, but I have chosen so far not to betray him. So I believe now it's the moment where we will be making our deals. So, okay, so I just veto everything that goes against the Bloods. And I do accept Arcation 8. So I'm not sure if you could be able to have a economical alliance with all of the nations. I think that if you ally with like you can ally with both Volksland and Lespia. You need to pick one. I believe. I'm not sure. Even if you don't do any military alliances, I believe you can only pick one nation between both of them. So we'll align west, get aid from Arcadia. We will be careful here. We need to retain relaxed immigration. That's the way we can be sure to have a good deal with Agnolia. And so this is where we need to be careful. I'm ready to make a decision. So the first option is keep immigration laws relaxed. So just for further reference, if we pick the first line during this dialogue, we will automatically have the results we want. And I don't think there's anything else. So nationwide protests quell. So the private party, what's interesting about the private party, it gives you the opportunity to buy an estate where you can brew wine, and it gives you the opportunity to invest in the football club, which gives you gives a little bit of flavor to the game. But for this game, I just want to use my money to bribe people. Probably you don't need to like use all your money to bribe with the decisions I've made, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested it. I just know that is the I bribed in my game through and it worked, so I'm doing it. So right now, Curtin Lest starts with his speech, and once Monica starts talking, you have to do like everything but antagonize her, right? So just watch the events unfold, do nothing, and support your wife. That's it. Those are the main ones. So whatever you do after that, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. So this one doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. You're just telling her that you agree that she's involved in politics and starts her fight for women's rights. So I know there's several different possible combinations here of where to invest and how. What I did was to invest in the military and modernize the army and stop obligatory conscription. So we are modernizing the army and that's it. So adequately equipped military, and yeah, so we're giving like modern weapons and equipment for the military. So now we have to go to Agnolia, and right here you need to be a little bit careful. You don't want to spend one budget here. So at first you will like tell them that you don't want their deal. Like they will offer you a trade deal where you have to give them one budget, but you won't accept. And then they will throw another deal where you just declare that Wehlen is theirs. And so it doesn't really matter. So what's gonna be, and this is not beneficial for Shortland, and is there no room for discussion? This is it. Wehlen has to be recognized as theirs. So Shortland will recognize the island, and then we will accept an alliance. And that's it. You're done. So you didn't lose budget, and you have a trade deal and an alliance with Agnolia. And here, like we want to make the world angry, right? So we will be offensive here. We could pick like not being offensive, but if we do become offensive, it's more probable that that Rumburg will declare war on us. So let's do it. We want war. So we have 2 trade deals, and as we can see, our economy is starting to shape up. So here is the speech. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Whatever. And they'll have a chance to retaliate. I don't see. Fuck. Well, like, it doesn't matter, honestly. So I believe now we'll get to talk. Oh, it's the opening of the railway. Great. So since we opened up on time, we'll get the most out of the railway. It doesn't matter what you say. Just ride the train. And the first option is going with Lucian, but it doesn't really matter, like, honestly. So Joseph will try to convince you to end conscription. And for this game through, we will stop compulsory conscription. So Falcon comes in. He doesn't agree. He's angry at that. So you do let him. And no, I'm content with the decision. So we want the army. I've never tried the rest, but the army worked out. So modernize the army. So we got our budget increased because of because we no longer have compulsory conscription. And so right here, I don't remember what this is about. I'll just tell you that it was a success. Opening up the railway. I'll tell you that the deals are bearing fruit, and that the next step is opening up a trade delegation with Lespia. So they don't agree with ally of Wehlen, but it was economically sound to do so. So I'm not sure about the Central Bank Reinforcement Act. It seems that what it does is that that it makes you be able to be more in debt without incurring in a crisis. So last playthrough I signed it. Not sure if it's actually needed, but I will sign it. And that's it. So we are building the Benvey International Airport. That's why we passed the laws regarding um, regarding the Tourism Act. Here they will present you with two alternatives. One is to make Berja part of Swordland as any other region of Swordland, and the other is to install a an autonomous zone where Berja has control of its own government. And for this playthrough, we will pick the one where Berja is autonomous, and we will enact it thanks to passing a lot, like the reforms where we keep our ability to pass decrees as precedent. And so we will go with Nia's proposal, which is the semi-autonomous. Mr. Mornia, you can get to work immediately. I'm counting on you. Sounds good, Miss Mornia. I'm counting on you. For some reason, we have balanced energy prices, even though we repealed the Berja, the EPA, Energy Protection Act removed. Okay, so as I commented earlier, we're going to accept this. And here, healthcare. So we want to privatize. We have to be careful to pick privatization. So just be careful. I don't see a problem with privatization. We will promote privatization. So improvement treatment in rural areas seems to be the best pick. So we got an increase in our budget because we got money back from the privatization. Yeah, you could just skip, it doesn't matter. Like, and of course we're in this together. And that's it. So I think next we will have the opportunity to lobby. So it doesn't really matter, just for the sake of consistency. I will pick Taurus, but I don't believe it matters at all. Then here they'll tell you the reform failed. Whatever, like. And so now she tells you like what you want to do, and I usually either build new rural schools or improve rural education. So we will build new rural schools, and that's it. So Now they will tell you that they want to ban creationism, which seems okay if you're doing what I'm doing, which is siding with the reformists. And so you gotta be careful to pick the right choice. Creationism shall be banned and only evolution will be taught. You will try to deter, but I think it's the best option. So investing in Lauren made the economy stabilize or start to stabilize, and England is already stabilized. And now next step is here. So in my last playthrough, I didn't sell my shares, but I will sell them this time. It'll give me more budget. Like, it will give me 6 budget, and if you don't sell them, it'll give you like 3. So it's better if it sells. And now I don't remember this part, honestly. You'll have a lot of dialogue here. So basically, they're trying to make the old guard remove Governor Braun from Bergia. There is a lot of dialogue, and you do need to be careful here. And once you say enough, that's my cue to start paying attention. So for this playthrough, I decided to side with the nationalists. So it seems to have the best outcome, or the most easy to respond to outcome. So which is like just remove Governor Braun. Article 6 and 7 are okay. And you need to be careful because there is so much dialogue that you might pick the wrong choice. So this is a cue to stop this dialogue sooner. So if you're not careful, you will pick the first option. And the first option is not the one we want. We want the second one. So I think I've heard enough. Okay. The first option is not the one we want because like it won't do anything, and well, it does something, but it doesn't do what we want this time. So we will just join the statement with everyone and have Governor Braun removed. That would put a nationalist governor in control of Bergia. Doesn't matter. So we will spend a generous amount to sway MPs. Might not be necessary, but it worked for me last time. So we get 6. There we go. So that's a huge budget increase. So I believe now is time. Oh, a call from Marcel. he just wants to be sure that you won't sell. I mean, you won't nationalize this company. So he tries to threaten you that things will go sour, and that you have to be careful. So like, I don't want to be part of that. So Lucian here wants to tell you that, like, the outcome of the thing where you tried to remove Governor Braun. So you get angry, and then like he talks about the reforms, and then he talks about nationalizing or privatizing companies. So we will privatize everything. So he will ask you whether, if somebody called him, and well, Marcel did, but we stopped them from telling you anything, as to not be involved. And so now we privatize. They will give you gifts. Like, I don't care. I've already made my choice. So fully privatize. What's the option? Minority, majority, state owned, fully state owned, fully privatized, fully privatized. So Lucian says it's a bad idea, but it isn't. It works out. So you gain a little bit of budget. 3. Let's see the results of the economic. Oh, thank you. Just accept the gifts. Doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. Like, it tells you he has the media under his control. But honestly, like, there's no use. So I'll just bring it out to the market. So veto. This is against the Bloods. We will veto it. We are helping the Bloods. Okay, so the constitutional changes, it doesn't matter what you pick here. Like, we have set up everything to win. We just have to skip through this. And we're close. And we win. We win. So that's it. Next, we will have to speak to Justice Edmonds. Like, it doesn't matter here. Like, whatever. So be careful here, because he wants an alliance. So it might work, since we have been doing this like full reformist style. Like, we pick every single option through the reformists. But if I recall correctly, we don't actually need this. So we are through. Like, we won't start an alliance with them. And that's it. And that's it. See, our economy is doing good. Grant Asylum. You need him to know Rumburg has nuclear weapons, and to make Rumburg angry. So you'll go see a movie. It doesn't matter, but I like to pick the right choice. So when you meet this Sirbuk, you need to pick the second one, and that's it. That's all that matters. You can skip through Mitsol, and it doesn't matter what you pick. It makes no difference. So, and now they will talk about align with Lespia, and we will just say yes. How are we able to ally Lespia? Because we have repealed the EPA. If you don't repeal the EPA, you cannot ally with Lespia. And Lespia is very important for the war. Here, Frank will tell you he flunked. And like, there's basically three options. One is going to the military school, which seems to be the best, honestly. Like, Frank ends up liking military life. Then you can send him off to Boxland. He'll become a commie. Or you can pay money for him to be accepted at Holsworth. And well, it's just more expensive. Like, why would you do that? So I always send him to military. I don't want to spend this money because I need to bribe Garachi, my principals. Okay, so he goes off and cries, and that's it. He goes off to military school. And the duty of dissension, it might be tricky. I already know how to do this. So most of the time you just pick the first option and that's it. And then he will he won't like that you ban creationism. The important part is this. So you grab the scepter with your left and the sword with the right, and you kneel before the archpriest. That's all you need to know. Touch the sword with your right hand, hand the scepter to the archpriest, pass the sword to a disciple, and that's it. Surprisingly well, everybody is clapping, cheering, chanting my name. That's it. So you did well. I assume that public opinion increases with that interaction. So I've never tried bribing her. I don't know if it's possible or if it's convenient. So all you need to do is like not pass the part where you try to impeach the justices, and have to answer certain things correctly. So ask her to order before you, then have whatever she's having, which is the salad, and you sort of kind of talk about it. And there's a few questions that you need to answer correctly. So to ensure the new processes are respected, and so you need to answer that Richter is the one behind it. Another puppet, but I need to be careful. Don't be, we're together in this. The court protects the Constitution. And that's it. So that's all you need to answer. So we have to wait, and that's it. We can get behind this proposal. That's great to hear. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yes, I hope we can trust her. And now we have one budget to bribe Garachi. So offer a bribe. He will accept. And just like whatever. Pass the changes. Does sound rather nice. And I don't remember playing it out like this, honestly. I thought that with the bribe was enough. So let's see how this all works out. I'm kind of nervous, to be honest. So yes, we did it. So maybe we didn't have to bribe Karachi, as I thought. We could have used that money for other things. So it's good to know. So now we have to go through this meeting. So they will tell us that we're doing fine. And he starts talking about the epidemic, polio epidemic. And she wants to she wants the gendarmerie, and we won't give it to her because the gendarmerie will help us in the war. So that's it. And manifesto, whatever. And address the nation. Whatever, doesn't matter. And we continue. So beyond this point, it starts getting tricky. Like the decisions you made start to weigh on upon you. We will face a few crises, but we've set the framework to be able to respond without much of a loss. It doesn't matter, he'll just leave for the military. they give us 1 wealth, and so we are liberal. And here is where we start investigating Vectren for these, what you call them? Affair. So we have to establish this semi-autonomous zone in Vergia. We gender equality in education, it's important. And like, we must spend the budget on better things. So we will just go and do desalinization. I don't think it does any change, but that's what I want to do. And it's what I did last time. And that's it. Okay, so we're going with Lespia now. You have to be careful here with the teapot. Right there, the teapot, leave it alone. But otherwise, it just happens by itself. Watch out with the alcohol thing. And, you know, he's a drunk. So, it tells you that we have all the oil now. Tell me what they want. They want their oil. And okay, so there's no other way. You have to give it to him. So you must accept the alliance. Now with the communists, I accept. So you lose 1 budget. Well, we should have lost 1 budget. I guess the alliance gave it 1 budget. I don't know. So this doesn't matter. Just go through it. Doesn't matter. He'll tell you he had an affair with Monica, Livia. I don't remember who. The secretary. It honestly doesn't matter at all. You'll talk to Evelyn, and then you'll talk to Lucien, and it won't matter. Same outcome. Oh, here it is. Decreased. So for this first stage, you can just click and it will be fine. For the second stage, you do have to pick, but it's mostly the first option as well. The affair, so of course, you mean, how could we arrest her? So you agree that Peter should be reprimanded. And you can pick, like you could decide not to reprimand Peter, and if you do, you can either just make him resign or go to jail. If you make him resign, in my experience, he kills himself. So not it's not because I'm fond of Peter and I don't want him to kill himself, but because killing himself opens up dialogues that just make this longer. So just putting him in jail makes it quicker, right? So okay, so tells you it worked. And then he starts talking about some bills he is intending to pass. And he says Gruni isn't doing as he hoped he would. It would. He advises not to be too straightforward about the Rumburg situation. And don't mention Rumburg. Just put Peter in jail, trial. And I'm not taking any question. So now we have to pick so this your wife and Chiara want you to pass a bill. You just make them, like, it doesn't matter, just pick whatever and just be sure you make them pass it through the assembly. Because I believe you have the option to pass it yourself. But I want it to pass through the assembly. So just click through everything. Like, I think one of the problems with this game is that decisions just flow with the dialogue. Like in this one, you have a dialogue that in which you make no decision, and once the dialogue ends, you have a new window where, well, so let's take this out of the way. You have a new window where you get to actually make the decisions regarding the dialogue. I think every single decision in the game should be like this. That way it would be easier not to pass on important things. So I will pick Albin because that's a promise I made. So after picking Albin, you just like have this little dialogue, which doesn't matter much. Albin just tries to establish his power above Lucian, which I don't like. So I just make sure to brush him off. And that's it. Now, here we have a tiny dispute between Lilias and Joseph. Um, you need to be careful to pick the one you want. So we want the Gendarmerie to stay with Joseph with defense. And we have to make sure it stays that way. So for most part, it doesn't matter what you pick. And this is the one. So if here we had some sort of prompt that would tell you that a decision is approaching, I'll make for a more real gameplay. Like, you won't be making decisions out of carelessness. So here, we could easily just pick the first option. And that is a major decision in the game. It's no small decision. It affects your war effort. So you have to be careful with this kind of things. So there will be no changes related to the gendarmerie. And that's it. Now the equal ability. So if I recall correctly, like last game, I decided to pick each and every one of these options, which was the equal ability one, the women one, and the children of the future one. You'll get the money back on a few taxes that will be enacted later. So here it talks about the epidemic, the polio epidemic that takes place in Berja. And since we privatized health, we will be able to develop the vaccine without investing any money. So here you face the option to either make vaccination obligatory or not. We are making obligatory. And that's it. That's how you quell the epidemic. And well, this meeting with the family doesn't really matter. It's just a reflection of your choices regarding education. So since we made equal gender education, your child will be good at math. And that's it. That's all there is to it. And now we will support. Don't ever go with an armored convoy. It's not a good option. And there's a few things you need to be sure you pick. And which are take his hand, display of unity, pick up a candle, don't pick up the red one. I've never picked it up, it seems disrespectful. Light the torch with him. Free people of Bloodied. These don't matter much. And de la Cluderat. And okay, this is crucial. So he will tell you that you have more support with the that we have a better position with the reformists. We don't have conservatives, but the liberals are with me. We don't have the socialists, and we have the Bloods. So they tell you women's rights and human rights. And Lucian will tell you you have to do campaign work. You'll have a chance to spend some money on campaigns later. Okay, so this is one of the crises. Since we have generally been kind with the nation, we will be more receptive. Well, rather the protesters will be more receptive. And we should have okay, so this is very important to accept. It'll make a difference. So the Great Descent. And we won't expand because we will be passing other bills that will cost money. So Security Act, veto. In fact, last game through, we passed this one because we had no veto power. So we might sign this. So I will sign this and see what happens. Let's see. So if everything is right, we will get a dialogue with the protesters, and they will have demands which are not compromising at all. So we will pass the women's thing. And then there's this is yeah, like Monica is celebrating, and Frank tells us what he's doing out there. So we veto this. It goes against liberalism. It's a nationalistic thing. And we go for the children of the future thing. And this is not okay. Don't pass this. And pass this. And we should be fine with that. So this is where the plane gets shut down. And since we were at war with Rumburg, we should retaliate with equal force. So an eye for an eye. This will make the chances of Rumburg declaring war more likely. So an eye for an eye. Retaliate with equal force to display your strength. So if we organize the military parade, they will try to kill us, but it's fine. No biggie. So we need to reject this offer. Because if we ally the ATO, Rumburg will launch nuclear missiles at us. Okay, so this will be decisive. I don't know, this is just where Monica celebrates her victory. And what's here? Election speech, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So things are looking good economically. Let's see what they have to say about this. So I like to pay attention to this just to know that we're doing fine. So we are on track. Decisions consistent. And laissez-faire economic system. Trade has increased, on the right path. Thriving economy. Quite relying on foreign economies, but that's fine. And page 17. More welfare. Taxes, whatever. Production has increased. Logistic has improved. Inflation went down to 2%, which is good. And, well, balanced. If I don't see ourselves taking a loan right now, we are okay. We stopped the epidemic. We are in the shortest recovery period, which is necessary for the war. Television interview with the Kryut guy. We have to be careful not to mention Rumburg. And we need to look warlike. It doesn't matter much from now on. And that's it. So there's a few events right now that could end our playthrough. Lilia's doesn't really matter. She might say now that she will contend against me. Yeah, so she will contend against me. It's not relevant. Since the war will break out, it kind of goes out in the secondary position now. So the military parade, they might try to kill me here, but they won't succeed. It's important that we, so that line means that they will try to kill me. So it's important to reverse so they don't shoot Sergio. So after this, two things might happen. One is that we that everything is fine and we go to war with Rumburg, and the other one is that we have a military coup. So this right here is just flavor. If you invested in the football club, your club will win the match. If not, they won't win. And like you have some exchanges between the two ex-presidents, but it's just flavor. It's just story context. It's not relevant for the end game. Rather irrelevant. If you do invest in the football club, you get the chance to speak with the players, which it's nice. So now, just skip through everything and stop near where Queen Beatriz ends her speech, because after her, it's your turn. So I just recommend for this part to not say anything, not to address in what other people said before. Just say as little as possible about anything. So about here, Grand Awakening. So that's your cue. That's when you go up. Just be sure not to, that's the one you want to pick. So that's it. That's it. Rest is Walker and Malinate. It doesn't matter. You want to do this if you want to go to exile. I won't. If I need to exile, it's as if I have lost the game, so I won't do it. Okay, so we did it. This means that the queen will declare war on us, and now now is the final stage of the game. So you must be out of your mind. Her conscience is clear, and that's it. The war's begun. So David Wishy will resign because he's old, and it's okay. Okay, so that line that I give them a suspicious look, that's usually the cue that you'll have a coup. So let's see if we have a coup or not. So here you state whether you want to be a reelected or not. So I do want to be reelected. So she won't agree, but I say I'll keep going. Let's see. So this might be where the game ends for us. No, since we're going to war, everything is fine. We'll just have to win the war. Salute. And I have faith. How soon? I understand the situation. I don't need more information. I always let him go to war. I guess one soldier doesn't make the difference, but it seems like the right thing to do. So I don't need to listen to the strategy because I already know the strategy. So we call our allies to the war. We have 3 allies. Look, if you want like a little bit of flavor, you might let him come in. But I don't need him. It'll just be a distraction. So do continue, whatever. Doesn't really matter, with all due honesty. Agnolia, Wehlen, and is Lespia. It is usually thought that Lespia won't help you out if you don't go through the Swordish recovery period. So we'll go for the Pincer. And Wehlen. I don't trust Wehlen, so as less of an participation they can have, the better. If they go through your territory, they will they'll have problems. If they encounter resistance, they'll back off. So I'll just have them reinforce our troops. So yes, make Agnolia go for Dome. So then we've got Salzburg in our hands. And we have to pick what each of our allies will do and what we will do. We have to take the capital. We will march towards Rumburg and end this war. And Wehlen will cover our backs at Salzburg. It's important not to involve them with our allies. They won't do any good, so they will cover our backs. Lespia will take Dome and help Agnolia. So sign it. And that's it. Now we'll give out a speech in front of our people. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. War has been declared. And it's over. So if we've done everything correctly, this should win us the game. Yes, so before even clicking, I know we've won because the interaction is out here. If we lose, the interaction is right here. So we've won. And capitulation of Rumburg. Read the newspaper, tells you you won. And open the letter. Frank tells you that he's seen things, he's done things, and that he wants you to give her the middle finger. Like, give the queen the middle finger for him. So we are to see the queen. And we'll just simulate her as much as you want. And well, she just cries about everything because these are very harsh conditions. Very, very harsh conditions. And the middle finger. And that's it. There is your ultra liberal capitalist military re-election win. So this is just dialogue. Yeah, you make no decision, and it doesn't matter. The die had been recast. You declare that morning had come. Cooperate. Second term was about to begin. Monica's hand. Worked hard. Pleased with your achievements. Years passed. Victory was here. I do solemnly swear. So, well, here we have a recapitulation of your stuff. So I am a Arcadian capitalist and Swordish reformist. Like, I don't know how I could have been more of a capitalist. I guess if I didn't pass the fiscal measures thing. And, well, yeah, I could have reformed a whole lot more that I didn't. So, a lot of civilians die in the war. People get access to healthcare. The protests. And the Blutish were cool. The legal case is delayed. Women got it better for them. And that's it. So I hope you find this video useful. Maybe in the future I will release the streamlined version. I just thought it was very important to have a like step-by-step video, so you know this is possible. So you know, like, if you follow certain steps, clear, specific steps, you will win this game. If you just need this one win for you to renew your hope for the game and renew your interest in trying stuff, even if it's stuff that won't make you get reelected. It's just fun to try and navigate through the whole uh, context of the game. Like try to do weird stuff that might or might not work. Sometimes we just need a little bit of motivation, one win, so we can continue enjoying this game even if we keep up losing. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and well, sorry for the quality, but well, that's what it is. So there you have it. Thank you.